What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the End in Mind podcast. I'm your host, Caitlin, and today I am so incredibly excited because we are sponsored by Cozy Earth on the next 4 episodes of The End in Mind. So, if you love this show, if you love being cozy, you are going to love the next few episodes. And our code is actually stackable. So, through all out the month of the month of November, you all will be able to use the code Meraki and you get a total of 40% off anything on the Cozy Earth website. So I'm wearing these really cute pajamas for our next 4 episodes, and I also have my set of sheets here and my king size pillowcase, which I have absolutely been loving. It is amazing quality. You guys will love this product. I am seriously obsessed with these pajamas. So, quick little mention that I wanted to put out there. If you are currently listening to our podcast on audio, this episode will also be launching on YouTube. Actually, the next 4 episodes will be, which we normally don't put our solo episodes on YouTube, but we are this time because we love Cozy Earth, and I actually want you all to be able to see the quality of the pajamas. I have them on. I'll be recording in them for the next 4 episodes, as I mentioned, and this is just so incredibly fun. I've been working on this podcast for about 5 years, and to be sponsored by one of my favorite brands out there is just so incredibly exciting. So use your code Meraki, get your 40% off. I'm literally buying everything Cozy Earth for my entire family for this year's holiday. So yeah, if you're in my family, you didn't hear that and you don't know what to expect. So our next 4 series episode topics are all going to be about marketing secrets. So I also am recording on my phone, so if you guys catch me looking at both cameras, that is why. I'm just trying to do all the things today. So, what are marketing secrets and what are you possibly missing when it comes to marketing and a lot of these unspoken rules that big brands just don't talk about? So, these next 4 episodes, we are going to be talking all things unspoken about marketing. So, what you don't know unless you're in marketing, how to really learn all of the nuances that come with being a business owner, and what marketing really means, right? When it comes to running your own business and what you have to do to build a successful brand. So, I want to talk about unspoken marketing secrets because being in this industry for the past honestly, going back into college, almost like 9 years, right? I've been working with entrepreneurs since I was in college. So that's why I always grandfather that part of my business in, because I made a lot of really big strategic moves for online entrepreneurs at that time. And it really was back when being an online coach was super taboo. And it was not something that a lot of people were doing at all. So one of the people that I was able to help was Kelly Roach. And if you guys have ever heard of her, she's very famous in the online space, online coaching space for business owners. And I was able to help her get on her very first news interview. So it was her first time being on TV, and I did all of that by cold calling, okay? So I went to school for PR, so obviously this is more PR side of marketing. But really, to get on TV and to really get your name out there, you have to have a nice story, okay? So a lot of people miss this unspoken rule about marketing, and people think that they are telling their story enough, or maybe even over explaining their story, and they end up just not telling any story at all, and they end up just giving their offer and jumping right to the point. So a lot of the people that I work with one-to-one is we talk about how to build trust online. What does that actually look like? What does that mean? And how can you start to build trust over time? It's actually through storytelling, okay? So when you story tell, it allows people to get more comfortable in getting to know you. It also makes you feel more relatable to them because you're willing to take the time out of your day to actually explain, hey, this is my perspective. Here's what I've seen come up. One time I was working with a client and this is what they experienced, right? So it builds your credibility as well. Even just like the story that I just shared with you, all on Kelly Roach. That's a lot of what you should be talking about in your marketing. So some of you may be thinking, well, I'm really new in the business. Maybe I don't have a lot of client stories that I'm able to share, and I don't know what stories I should be telling. You can start telling stories about yourself, about your perspective in business, why you started your business, what's the passion behind it. It doesn't always have to be client facing, but client facing stories are great when you are looking to build more revenue and looking to actually build more relationships with potential clients online. So let me give some examples. The other day, I was actually working in the hub, the co-created hub, which I'm a co-founder of. And Christina, the founder of the hub, had asked me to come back to do a few events for her community every month, which is great because I love this community. I've done it for years. It's awesome. I meet the coolest people from all over the world. Super fun. And I talk a lot about intuitive marketing. I also talk about marketing strategies overall inside these events. But this topic happened to be on intuitive marketing. And one of the people in our forum was asking us a little bit more about, like, how do you help people connect with their intuition? What do you tell them if they're resisting their intuition, or maybe they're having confusion around what is intuition and what is emotion? This is a great place in my experience where I've utilized storytelling within my coaching, okay? So when you intuitively coach someone, you're not really telling them exactly what to do, because when you think about intuition, everybody's perspective is very unique. So in order to be able to coach them and mentor them, you have to be able to relate to what resonates with them the most. And sometimes storytelling is the best way to do that. And you can say, this is one experience that I've had, this is another, which resonates with you more? And that will lead us back to your belief around this situation, or back to what your intuition is actually telling you. So that was actually exactly what I told this person inside our workshop. And I said, I utilize a lot of storytelling for this reason, because it's not directly telling someone what to do, but they can pick and choose, right? Those little pieces of the story that I'm sharing with what resonates with them. It's the same thing with marketing, okay? So if you don't start to share with your potential clients or people out there in the real world your credibility, why would they trust you, right? If you don't trust yourself, we say this all the time on this podcast, if you don't trust yourself, why would someone else hire you, right? So that's a belief before you even get to the marketing point, but we're talking all about unspoken marketing secrets, and this is a big one. So storytelling is going to lead you back to being able to understand what your clients really want to hear and what's resonating with them. Because when you start storytelling, remember at the beginning where maybe you don't have a lot of client experience and you just start sharing it online, hey, this is why I started my business, this is some of my background. Most of us have some sort of background in the reason why we're starting this business, right? If you're really just jumping into it out of the blue, or you're creating a product, what helped you create the product idea? Who helped you get there, right? What's the story arc? There has to be a story somewhere that you can share with someone. Then as you continue to build those storytellings over time, which I'll get into some more really great strategic ways to do that in upcoming episodes, then you can really start to see, okay, what stories start to resonate with more people? Okay, a lot of what I do resonates with my clients based around the clients that I've worked with in the past, right? And the results that we've been able to get, or the credibility of the clients that have hired me. So it builds credibility both ways, and it helps the client understand, okay, this is the whole scope of what Meraki can provide. A lot of what you all do, because I know a lot of you personally from listening to the show over the years, is very much more complex, right, than just coaching or just consulting or just social media management or just marketing support. You probably offer so much more than that. And it's about time that you start sharing these stories and really putting yourself out there so people are able to understand all that you have to offer, okay? So in a few episodes ago, this going back a few months, I shared one of the marketing secrets where we were talking about building upon your current offers and really being able to share the scope of all that you provide, because a lot of what we provide is outside of the scope of other competitors, okay? So I use the example of my company, and I'm going to use it again here because this is, again, another really great storytelling tactic. So with a lot of our clients at Meraki, most of the time they come to us because they think that they need social media management, but they most of the time end up needing a lot more than that. Honestly, most of our clients need fractional CMO work. They need someone to come in and they need someone to help share with them what the campaign is going to be about. But so when you are creating a place of marketing, right, what were we talking about? We were talking about... There goes some other type of noise outside. I have no clue what that was. So when we're talking about building your offer, right, and what you actually provide, a lot of the times clients come to you because they assume that you can help them, right? They're coming to you because they have a problem of some sorts. Most of the time when people come to us at Meraki, they don't want to be doing social media anymore. They hate it. They're done with being online. It doesn't feel good. They don't like it, okay? They want their time back. They maybe don't have the time to do it anymore. Like maybe they're literally drowning. We've had clients in that position. We've also had clients that just don't understand social media marketing and they don't want to learn it, okay? So then they call us in and we do it all. What I've started to realize over the years is that this isn't just social media management. Like, we're doing a lot more. We're managing campaigns, we're helping them promote stuff 3 to 4 weeks out, sometimes 3 to 4 months out. We're building campaigns for clients. Heck, we're sometimes even helping them at the foundational level to recreate and re-identify different types of products. We've done that many times for different clients. We'll test products for them, give client feedback, give our feedback. So it all depends on what the client's needs are. But to get them through the door, to get them to even have the conversation, the marketing piece is important, right? So that's why that storytelling is really going to help build your credibility over time, help your clients understand who you are, and then get that first communication in the door, which is really the biggest point of sales contact, right? Which actually helps you make the sale. So another really important factor that I want to share with you all on this topic before we go to part 2 is another story. Okay, so I was recently on a podcast with a colleague of mine, and I speak to her students all the time. They are amazing students, so fun at Drexel University. Love you guys if you listen to the show. And I've been doing that for years. And she recently just launched her own podcast, which I was so excited to be asked to be one of the first guests. And I think it's called Marketing 101. If you look it up or DM me, I'll send you the link. And she had me on her show. It was such a great conversation. Within that show episode, I talked a lot about my experience. Okay, so like you guys all know my story. You know, losing my dad at 15. My mom just went through this crazy health scare, right? Like how that loops back to our business, how flexible business can be, like all the great things that come from being in business. And I shared a lot of that story on the episode and like why I do what I do, why I believe in marketing. And funny enough, one of my largest clients reached out to me after he heard the episode and ended up hiring us to basically be a fractional CMO for his new startup business. And it's been so fun. We have a robust marketing budget. We're able to work with influencers. Stay tuned for upcoming episodes for tips on that. And just so many really fun things came out of this one interview. And one of the reasons why he resonated with me, this is so funny because like to kind of go off topic for a second, my girlfriends used to say this to me, or like if you ever have lost a parent, it's kind of like morbid, but people will say like dead dad club, right? It's the same type of mentality. Like when you lose a parent at a young age, there's other young kids that experience the same thing, right? Unfortunately. And you just really understand each other. Like you just like get it. It kind of is like this unspoken like rule between you two. And that's basically what happened with my new client. He unfortunately lost his parents in a tragic car accident. And that's what made him want to start this new company, Some Teas. And I will be sharing a lot about that on my Instagram account too. So he hired me because he knew that I understood him and his experience. And I talked a lot about therapy, and that's how he created this company. Like the stars aligned, right? And it just made sense for him to hire me. And we literally hit it off, and he's had a baby through all of this launch, and we've been able to do all of these amazing things. So that's just another example of sometimes, even as highly sensitives, when we feel like we're oversharing, right? We feel like, oh, was that like appropriate to say on that podcast? Here's a perfect example of me just being candidly myself, candidly sharing my experience, and just going ahead and putting it out there, especially because this was my friend's show. I felt very safe, like being super vulnerable. And look at how well it worked. Okay, this is one of my largest clients ever I've gotten, with a very robust marketing budget. And it's so incredibly exciting to be working on such an amazing product startup business that I believe in, right? I understand the vision. Didn't take long for me to understand it, and I'm right in the thick of it, and now we're working together, and it's been like such an amazing experience. So that's another really great example of how storytelling can lead you to some of your best and biggest clients of all time. Because really at the core of this, what comes down to the storytelling is that when you share these types of stories, it shows people your values from your own lens, okay? It shows people why you are the way that you are. Bloopers from Bales. Okay, you guys, Bales even loves the cozy earth. Okay, if you're listening to this audio, honestly, you have to go check out the YouTube episode, because Bailey is obsessed with the cozy earth sheets, okay? I cannot even tell you guys how many times Sean and I have been like getting up, getting ready for work. I always wear those eye masks to bed. And I will go upstairs. Bales is always on my pillow anyway, but she loves the cozy earth sheets in particular. I came in the other day. I like threw my eye mask on the bed. I'm like getting up, getting ready to go to solid core. It's early as hell. And I throw my eye mask like down on the bed. Well, I come back from the bathroom. Bailey literally has the eye mask over her eyes with her head on my cozy earth pillow underneath all the cozy earth blankets. Okay, like there's just no joke. These products are so soft, even Bailey loves them. Okay, I will send you guys or I'll put up a photo of it on my story. If you're checking this out, go to my Instagram account so you guys can see it if you're checking this out on YouTube or audio, because it's hilarious. And I will put up the story of Bailey right here because it is so stinking cute. Love her so much. Anyway, back to storytelling. So that's another, again, a really great example of how storytelling can really start to build your company, because it shows the client the lens of your beliefs, okay? So when we talk about beliefs, values, they can be so generic, right? Like family, joy, right? Freedom, like can be all of these things that are like pretty general. When you storytell, you give context to why that is one of your values. And it allows the client to see, wow, okay, so this is what she's been through, or this has been her experience in business. That's really similar to my experience. Therefore, maybe I should give it a go and reach out and connect with her, okay? It is that simple, but we overcomplicate it again and again and again in our minds, and it ends up feeling so out of touch and like overwhelming and crazy, okay? So that is our unspoken rule number one, storytelling for marketing. If you feel really lost in this, please send me a DM. Like, we can connect and we can talk all about this and how we can start to really develop stories for yourself based off of like the community that you serve. And when all else fails, okay, if you don't want to reach out, if you're nervous, it's okay. I will never try to sell you. I'm always just looking to connect, okay, and help and support when you all need. But if all else fails, if you're just having one of those days, remember that your ideal client is always, always some type of past version of yourself, or you know someone that you could create your ideal client avatar for or from because you have them in your sphere, right? So it's always one or the other. And you can always ask that potential person a few questions, right? That is your ideal client avatar to get some clarity too for your storytelling aspects, okay? So I will see you guys in part 2 next week. Don't forget to use your 40% off code for Cozy Earth. Again, the code is stackable, so that's why you get 40% off. It's code Meraki. I'm so excited. This is the perfect Christmas present, okay? Look at this pillow. It is so soft. It is so nice, you guys. All of the sheets, I believe, come in this cute little burlap bag. Mine did. And when I do my haul for like Christmas, I'm also going to be posting it to my story, which will probably be in the next few weeks because we got to get stuff done early around here. You know, we got a wedding to plan. So that's why I went with these really cute white pajama set for my honeymoon, for my pre-honeymoon that we're going on, all the fun stuff, okay? So love you guys so much. Thanks so much for listening, and good luck on your storytelling.